Hey guys, it's Novatech from SealPupsRs. Today I'll be doing a guide for frost dragons using the ranged method. First off, we'll go into stat requirements. You will need at least 85 dungeoneering and 37 prayer for the protect from magic spell, prayer sorry, and you need 85 dungeoneering to enter the resource dungeon to access frost dragons. Other recommended stats are 74 prayer for the rigger prayer, which also requires 140,000 dungeoneering tokens, which you can obtain while getting the 85 dungeoneering requirement to enter the frost dragon dungeon. 80 plus ranged is highly recommended, as you can then use the chaotic crossbow, which is also highly recommended for using the ranged method, although it is understandable if you've bought a rapier or something instead. And possibly 92 prayer for the soul split prayer. This is if you don't have rigor, you can then use soul split and the leech or sap curses. Now onto gear setup. You can use full ranged void with a Kirill's top or an armadillo chest plate. I'll show you other setups or variants of this kind of gear. This is the maxed ranged I could get with this kind of setup. Now, the reason I'm using a Soul's Cape instead of an Ava's Accumulator is the cost of the bolts is actually far outweighed by the amount of prayer you'll save with the blue cape. Because of the plus 10 prayer bonus you get from the blue cape, plus 12, you will save yourself quite a few prayer potions, and say you're doing 10 runs of Frost Dragons, you'll probably lose maybe 750 to 1,250 bolts, but that cost will be completely covered by the amount you'll save on prayer potions, if you see what I mean. Then you've got the Archer's Ring, which you can have imbued. I am not a fan of mobilizing armies, but if you've grinded it out, then yeah, you can do that. You can use a Fury, but I would recommend an Amulet of Ranging, as you will be protecting from the attacks that the Frost Dragons use, so you don't really need defense. And this gives higher attack or offensive bonuses, so it is very handy. I'm also using Void. I'm using 4 pieces of Void: the gloves, the elite legs, the deflector, and the Void Ranger helmet. Now, the deflector is gotten from doing the Void Conquest. You need to get 1,250 rank, and then you need 150 Void Commendations to purchase it. The Elite Void Knight Robe is 250 points, and then 100 to upgrade it to Elite. And then the gloves are 150, and the helmets are all 200 each. So it does take quite a long time, but if you're doing the veteran boat, it doesn't take too long, as you will be getting 4 points a game. So I would highly recommend doing that. If you do not have Void, you can just use Armadillo with Armadillo helmet, or a Verax helmet will do. I will show you a couple of lower level setups straight after this, so hang on. Alright, so now we have the mid-high level setup. For this setup, you will again need the Void Knight set, including the deflector and excluding the top. It is again recommended that you have the elite version of the Void Knight robe bottom. For the ring slot, you'll want to use the Tokol Zo from the new Elder Kiln quest. It is not a very difficult quest and will only take about 45 minutes to complete. The reason you'll be using this ring is it has all of the stats of the Archer's Ring, plus an additional +4 in all of the attack and defense stats. Unfortunately, it does not have a strength or prayer bonus. But it is also possible to just use the Archer's Ring, obviously, or the Explorer's Ring, preferably 3 to 4, as it has a run replenish feature, which can be quite handy for getting to the Frost Dragons. It has an Alch feature, which you can use to Alch with the rune longs that you get and still have space for the bones. And it has an additional prayer bonus of +1, which can really help. As for the cape slot, again, you'll want either an Ava's Device, which has a range bonus, which is what you want, or a Soul's Cape, which I actually prefer, as it has a prayer bonus and will overall save you more money. For the boots, snakeskin boots are fine, but you can use ranger boots if you can afford it, or you can replace your snakeskin boots with the ranger's boots after you've made quite a bit of money from frosts. I would not recommend this though, as the price range gap from the ranger boots to the Glaven boots isn't that much, and obviously the Glaven boots are a vast improvement on them. So that's what I'd recommend. With the gear setup, you kind of need to use your head a bit and replace things as suited to your bank and stats at the time. For the weapon slot, again, you will need a chaotic or rune crossbow. You can use a Zarek bow, but obviously this is extremely expensive and would be aimed more at the higher players. And again, for this you will need super anti-fires, as with this method. And the bow itself is extremely expensive and not many players have it. Again, I didn't mention, if you do not have a deflector or the herb lore stats required for a super anti-fire potion, you can again wear the Void Knight robe top and replace the deflector with a anti-dragon shield, not a dragon fire shield, as it will reduce your range stats, which is obviously not wanted. As for the amulet slot, again, you can use a ranger's amulet for the stats, obviously for the ranged attack, which are on screen, plus 15, which is quite a lot, and then you get the magic defense, which is great if you forget to switch your prayers. But if you can't afford it, then you can use a glory, and if you do not feel like purchasing a ranger's amulet and you already have a fury, then obviously you can use that. Okay, again, this is kind of a mid-level setup. Without the use of void, you can use an anti-dragon shield or a anything else that suits you. Again, don't use the dragon fire shield as it reduces your ranged bonuses. Replace the ring with a Tokal Zo if you can, because they are quite handy. And that's pretty much it for the kind of mid-lower setup. So next one I'll be showing you is the lowest of the low setups. Again, you can place the glory with the ranged amulet with the glory, sorry. Okay, now for the absolute lowest level setup. Again, for the auras you will be using sharpshooter, reverence or knockout. But for the gear, the changes are quite significant. You'll be wearing a helmet of Neat's Knot, black d'hide body, black d'hide chaps, an anti-dragon shield, snakeskin boots, Colin the Romancer's gloves 10 or whatever you can use, rune or dragon, but preferably barrows obviously. Again, the Tokal Zo, as it is free and has quite good stats. A chaotic crossbow, which you can replace with rune, but obviously your kills per hour and therefore GP per hour will be reduced. And the Avers accumulator. I'm guessing if you're using the lower level setup you will not have done Nomad's Requiem, so you will not have the blue cape. Alright, so here we have the inventory setup. Super anti-fire is a must with a void setup, but obviously if you are using the anti-dragon shield, just use regular anti-fire potion with a extreme or regular ranged pot, and then recover specials if you can. 3 prayer potions, 4 dose obviously. If you can use less, obviously use slightly less. If you can use more, if you need to use more, then take more. You just need to have a go that it's different for everyone at different stats, so I can't really give you an exact setup, but this is kind of a guide to it. A few food, obviously if you don't need to eat them, just drop them and replace them with bones, but they're there just so you can stay that little bit longer if you need to. The reason I have 3 dose potions for this part is because you will only need to drink 3 doses, so you will not be wasting 1 dose of potion every time you do a trip, or be bringing back 1 dose potions, which could be replaced with bones. So it really is just about efficiency. Then we have the cannon, which is a must. I'm hoping by now you've done the Dwarf Cannon quest, as I'm sure most people have. I've done it on my pure account, so it can't be that difficult. Also only takes about 3 minutes, so obviously go do that. The gold colour of it really isn't significant, it's purely cosmetic, so if you don't have a gold cannon or royal, do not worry. The only real thing it does is it kind of deters people from crashing you a little bit, so it's kind of handy. Then you've got the most amount of cannonballs you can afford if you're making money. Obviously only bring the amount that you can afford. The War Tortoise pouch, only summon it when you have a full inventory and then fill it up. It saves you your summoning point. A Drayman staff or Lunar staff is a must. You must have completed Fairy Tale part 1 or 2. I'm not sure, I think you need to have done part 1 for the fairy rings, but if you've done part 3 in Orc's Rift you will not need a staff, so this slot can be completely ignored. Then Dragon Claws if you can afford them. or a DDS, it just speeds up a little bit. But if you really don't want to use melee at all for whatever reason, then don't bring it. But it will just speed up your kills per hour. And then if you're not bringing a spec weapon, don't take the special recovery. Teleport tablets, you can use teletabs, or you can use glory and charge it, or sell it and buy a charged one. I just find it easier to use teleport to house at the end of a trip. Again, if you have not got the access to the fairy rings, as my pure account doesn't, you can teleport to Rimington House portal and then run south to Mudskipper's Point. You'll pass an altar and a summoning obelisk on the way, so it's extremely handy. Okay, so now how to get to Frost Dragons. You'll start off at Edgeville Bank, or you can use the northwest corner of the Grand Exchange. Hey guys, what is up? It is Novatech. At the moment you can see me running to Frost Dragons. This is the way to go if you were going from Edgeville using the fairy rings. At Xanaris there is a bank and an obelisk, as well as on Edgeville Bridge there is an obelisk, so if you need to recharge your summoning points, that's handy, or if you forget anything you can use the bank at Xanaris. This is where you need to run replenish or sit down and rest for a bit if you run out of energy, and then you go north east and then north and you will be at the mysterious entrance. I believe the first time you enter you will get 12,500 engineering XP. I'm not too sure on that though, as it was quite a while ago that I entered it. This is where you want to drink your potions, as the Frost Dragons will be able to attack you at this point, so just be a bit careful. What you want to do is put your claws on and spec them out as quick as you can, drink special recover, and place your cannon before or after that, doesn't really matter. I've placed it before though. The best spots, I will put up a map on screen now to show you some of the good spots to place your cannon, and spots that people use quite a lot. So I hope that helps you guys out a bit. I'll try and get one for both sides, but I'm not an expert, so I'll try find one online maybe. That'd be quite good. Anyway, I forgot my bolts, so it was a bit of a fail. Now you can see the aura that the Frost Dragon summoned. Do not attack the Frost Dragons when that is out, because you will pretty much get vengeanced off them. Don't worry, your cannon won't damage them and you won't get hit from it. So once you are done, run it away, pick up your cannon, or you can just leave it there and replace it so it doesn't decay. Teleport to your house, use your altar in your house. It's really handy to have one in your house. So it saves you quite a lot of money if you were to use prayer potions after each trip. And then you can just go to the glory bank and repeat the process. So I hope you enjoyed the guide, guys. There will be a melee one out pretty soon, so look out for that. It won't be, well, maybe a couple days until that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. This was more aimed at lower levels, even though it did show high level setups, but most high levels will be using melee. So if you are high level that doesn't go to Frost Dragons very much and looking for a guide, yeah, stay tuned. Thank you for watching. This has been Novatech from SealPupsRs. Be sure to like, comment, and if you really like our videos, subscribe, and then you can see them as we make them. And it really does help us out. I mean, it's really nice to see people enjoy our videos. So have a good day and bye.